What's up everyone, Matt Gamer here, and today I'm bringing you another concept and design video. Okay, so this one is going to be pretty interesting as well. It's focusing on torpedoes. Now, torpedoes in space. Sounds interesting. Well, there's a reason why people do this, mainly because guns aren't always good. Sometimes you just need something to be launched at the ship, and it could do more damage. These are small little tiny torpedoes here, but some people build massive AP shells that just wreck any ship that comes into its path, and I might be doing a concept and design video of one of those. So, but today, I'm taking you through these torpedoes. There's two types, they look the same, but they're different. The reason why they look the same is if this was an actual person on the ship, they wouldn't be able to tell the difference. So this one here is our armor-piercing, high explosive round, and you can see that there's a lot of warheads right there. So when it smacks into that ship, it's going to do a lot of damage. And then we've got the artificial mass blocks, so that it could be launched from there. Now, these torpedoes are actually connected and launched off instead of having their own thruster. So it's pretty interesting. Then this one here is a decoy. Right here, what you're seeing, these are the decoys with armor. So the armor is going to protect them if it's shooting at a side or in the front. Usually it'll protect it, and if anything, it'll just give it something to shoot at, so that these can do more damage because they're focused and they're pinpointing that location. So it's really good to have decoys, so that the machine guns don't know which ones to fire at. So that way they only fire at the decoys, which won't do anything to help the ship. It'll just kind of throw it off. And as you can see here, the differences are these ones here have one little sensor there. It's just turned off because it's not hooked into any power source. But you can see that there's a little sensor so that it will pinpoint that area and give it the most accuracy when firing at the target. This one here is just simple. You do have another one here, but it's so that it can focus and kind of head towards that direction, stay close to these, and get shot at. Take the full force of those Gatling guns, and let this one do the damage. Now, that isn't to say that these don't do damage. They do pretty high damage, just because it may be shooting at it, but it will smack into the side of that ship as well. And although it doesn't have explosive, it will smack into it, causing a lot of damage. So here's my barrage. That's 25 missiles in all. It's half of them are decoy, half of them are armor-piercing high explosive. So pretty interesting. When these are being fired, imagine now, it may look like it doesn't do a lot of damage. Well, it will look like a lot of damage. And I'll explain the good thing about having these kind of weapons, torpedoes or what have you, anything of the type, just because of how damaging they can be. Now, I can't go over to the ship because it's going to start shooting me. However, I can go into spectator mode here. You can see there's my missiles and there's my character. So I'm going to head over to the ship. Just speed up this. There we go. So on the side that I'm going to be firing these missiles here, we've got two Gatling guns, right? One on the engine nacelle and then one on the hull of the ship. Now there is a rocket launcher here, missile Gatling, whatever you want to call it, but it won't be firing at us because it can't get an angle, which is fine with me, obviously. But if you had a bunch of these torpedoes firing at the ship, doesn't matter how many Gatlings this thing can carry or is gonna have, just because it's gonna be firing at those decoys, and depending on how close your ship is, if it's pretty close, like as close as mine, and there's the beacon, if it's right there, then all it has to do is fire, and it's a matter of seconds before the torpedoes hit. So if you had, let's say, 3 of those torpedo rooms with 25 of those, your ship is gonna get wrecked. Doesn't matter how many guns you have, it's just gonna devastate your ship. And that's why a lot of people like to put them in, before now people are making smaller ships and conventional ships, things that aren't gonna be so heavily armed. But I like to build ships with a lot of armor and a lot of weapons, so it works for me. This is a pressurized ship, so you will see air getting dispersed from it once their torpedoes hit. So I'm going to leave the spectator mode there. I've already got the ship all set up. That's a lot of power, but I like power, and wanted to make sure this thing worked. So I have tested it out before, and just a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and start phase 1 and then phase 2. Phase 1 is going to initially unlock the torpedoes and turn on the artificial mass, and then phase 2 is gonna go ahead and get those sensors up, and it's gonna go ahead and get those batteries up that are in there, just to power it and get it on target. Now, I have already aligned it to be in a good spot, but you could use a Gatling gun just in the front here. You could place it probably, let's just check real quick, Gatling gun. So you could just place it right here if you really wanted to, in which case there's a little laser and you can use that to pinpoint where you want those torpedoes to be. Just remember that it's above the torpedoes, so if you want to fire at a specific spot, raise that dot above the area which you want to shoot at, and then the torpedoes will hit. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and launch them and show you the damage. So launching in 3, 2, 1. Phase 1, phase 2. You're going to see these start to go. There they go. Look how quick those things launch. So you can see it shooting at them, shooting at those decoys, and there it goes. All of them are slamming in. High armor piercing shells are ramming in with good damage. It's firing at a decoy. And there you go. So there's the damage. And then you saw the that white smoke. That was the air. It's just simulating the air being dispersed into space because this cabin was breached. And it actually reached the hangar bay here, and also a little quarters, which has a med bay in it. So if you were in a survival mode where you built the ship, and if you die and you come back in this area right here, this area is completely damaged, and I could possibly have taken that out, getting rid of their spawn and taking out their ship for good. Now, this ship is usually going to continue to move, even if I fire at it like that. Players are going to want their ship to move, otherwise I can easily hit another part of their ship, pinpointing that location because they've stopped. So they're going to continue moving. However, it doesn't help them. You see these little fragments here of my torpedoes. Those are going to start to head back in here and hit the back of this area. causing dents, and depending on how fast they're going, start to shear through a little bit of that area. It isn't going to go all the way through, it isn't going to go super far, but it does cause a good amount of damage, and so that's why these things are so powerful, and why I love to use them, is because, sure, guns are great, you can penetrate areas, but it scares players when you have that. And armor, it's not going to do as much to armor, obviously, but people now have created what's called 3D printers, and basically they have welders. I'll take you back here. They have welders on the sides and a projector block, and it will project those torpedoes. So all they have to do is turn on that 3D printing. Welders will come in, start to build that, and you can literally have another set of torpedoes in about 2 minutes or less, and then launch those, and then just keep going and going and going. It's very, very damaging, and that's why I love this. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like, and as you can, a comment. This is the second video. You could probably tell I had a little bit more confidence, which is good. I'm building up the confidence. And yeah, so I will see you guys on the next concept and design video, and also look out for some progress videos on my ships. And take care.